All right, we have week 3 recap of the 2019 Telegram 10 Fantasy League. Let's get right into it, and let's just start with me and Hassan, your rivalry matchup, I guess you could say. Uh, I got owned, no way around it. I had a couple big performances, but all across the board pretty disappointing. Hassan was pretty consistent across the board, and he had the big performances from Ingram and Tyler Lockett. I mean, Ingram just absolutely ate. I mean, so Ingram in the beginning of the game, he just kept getting these 1 yard touchdowns, and he would not only that Ingram was taking away the touchdown or was scoring touchdowns against my team, he was taking away fantasy points from Lamar Jackson. So I know Lamar Jackson still ended up with a decent day, pretty good day with 21 points. But trust me, he did not play as well as that point total said he did. There was an opportunity for him to get a lot more with Ingram getting a lot less. So Hassan really benefited from that, and Ingram was a really good play this week against the Kansas City defense. And Lockett also ate as well. And across the board, like I said, very nice performance from Kelsey, from Mac, and Phil Rivers had a good game. And he did this with Todd Gurley, only getting 4 points. So very nice performance from him. And Sterling Shepard had 23 on his bench, pretty good. And I really could not have done much other than the players I started today or this past week. Hopkins had another down game, but I'm not concerned about him. He'll bounce back. Kupp is looking like a good wide receiver for me. That's why I traded away Juju for Derrick Henry, and with Michelle being a little disappointing, thought that was a good trade. So we'll see. Very early on, 1 and 2, but I have a lot of points, so not too concerned. George, very good bounce back performance. Not bounce back, but I think this might have been the highest point total of the week. Yes. We actually had a lot of high point totals this week. Last week we had, I thought it was pretty fair in the amount of points that we had. This week was completely different. If you didn't have over 130 points, you're not going to win this week. So, so George scored a lot. Russell Wilson, look at everyone on this team. Russell Wilson had 41 points. Dalvin Cook, 22. His tight end, 22. I think I actually had him on my team. He did this without his best wide receiver. I think that, at least for the first 2 weeks, putting a 5.5. So a very good performance across the board. I told you guys after the first week, after I beat him, that his team would be fine, and it looks more than fine. I think Edelman is nursing an injury, but he'll be okay, and he has more than enough depth with those wide receivers to make up for the loss. He beat Raheel, who was going into this week as the only undefeated team. No longer is that the case. Watson had a good week, and Julio, and that's about it. Josh Jacobs, Duke Johnson does not look like the running back like I thought he was going to be, and he might be hurting at running back a little bit now. So we'll see what he does. See if there's any moves he makes, because if Duke Johnson's your number 2 running back, it's not great. So there actually might be a trade there to make, though. His wide receivers are very solid. DJ Moore is a lot better of an actual football player than he is fantasy player. So we'll see that catches up with him, and if he has with the new quarterback Kyle Allen, who looked pretty good against Arizona. Billy, he like I said, he had to really score over 130 points this week to win, and this is what Billy did. He scored 134 against Kaleem, who drops to 0-3. Kamara, if you just do best pure talents in the league, like Kamara he's got to be up there. He goes Mahomes, you could throw Barkley in there, and I think Kamara's right there with that group, along with Hopkins and Julio. Just unbelievable just an unbelievable talent. He really put his team on his back that game. You really saw how a running back could really. I honestly think he really won that game for them, along with Seattle playing absolutely horrendous in the first half. But Kamara was, he did put up 32 fantasy points, but he was even better in that game. Ingram has been a revelation so far. Um, Cooks, he has solid. I mean, this is, Chubb's been pretty consistent. He's one of the guys I really loved going into this year, and he's done a pretty good job. Not as good as everyone thought, but we'll see how that progresses. Kaleem, James Conner is very much underperformed this year, but Amari Cooper, Darren Waller, that is two pieces you can build with. Aaron Jones has had a nice year. Miles Sanders is probably going to have an expanded role, especially if he stops fumbling the football. Devontae Adams will get better. So, Kaleem's 0-3. I would not. I mean, he has Terry McLaurin on his bench too. I love that guy. I would not put a damper on his team. I wouldn't write his team off yet, but he does need some wins sometime soon. So it's got to happen soon. But it's not over. His team's not as bad as you would think an 0-3 team would be. In my opinion, I think Mo's team is the worst team in the league, especially with Tyreek Hill being out. And I honestly think Kaleem's team's better because you see another bad performance at 82 points. I think the game he won last week. Don't quote me that he did score that many points as well. Freeman has been pretty much a disappointment. 11 points was good for him this week, I thought, as a Freeman owner myself in another league. And SN, man, he just put the smackdown, just put the absolute smackdown on Mo. I think if you doubled Mo's points, he would have barely beat SN. If I could do some virtual salt pouring, I would right now. I can't, unfortunately, but make it be known that at Mo, especially the way he's been acting in our other chat the last couple weeks, he is extremely salty, and SN just kept pouring it on this week, and he wants that to be known too. He had even McCoy on his bench, he still just laid down a smackdown, and I think SN would have had close to a 170-point day if Saquon didn't get hurt. Rex Burkhead was a very nice start by him, along with just Evans and Allen, just combined. I think if you put those two, he might have been able to start just those two wide receivers and one other player and still beat Mo's team. So, a very good performance by SN. Mo benched Philip Lindsay this week. I don't really blame him. Lindsay hasn't really done much. All jokes aside, Mo's 1-2. I'm 1-2. So I can't really be talking too much, but I don't know. Got 4 points from both wide receivers. That's not great. So we'll see how he responds. See if there's any trades being made because our trade market has been very, very stale. I think I made a trade. I made a trade with Fawad, and I think there might have been one other trade. I can't remember. I think it was a smaller one. So we had our professional fantasy football player Yates, who's been pretty quiet. I would say over the last week or two. He drops to 1-2. Our professional here, and Fawad, our commish, another very good performance after I think he lost his first game. McCaffrey, very nice. I don't know if he lost his first game. I forget because McCaffrey had a bad week last week, so he probably lost that one. McCaffrey, Dak, Mixon, Hilton. This is kind of the performance that he would have had last year. Just very consistent across the board. Antonio Brown, that's going to hurt him, but not yet. Especially, who I really like this year is Christian Kirk. I think that guy is really good, and I think as the year goes on, I think he's going to get even better, especially as Kyler gets better. I really like Christian Kirk. So we'll see how he does. Olsen, very good pickup by him, I believe, unless he drafted him. Hilton had a very good game, and he had a really good game, and then he got hurt. So we'll see how that does. Yates, Not great, man. 1-2, 91 points. I mean, even look at his bench. Pretty stale. Yeah, Eckler is an unbelievable pick. Other than that, it's been kind of disappointing, even from Odell. I mean, David Johnson's been okay. He's the 9th ranked running back. So, I mean, yeah, he's been pretty good. Not been a great year from Yates' squad so far. You would think he would have more Chiefs on his team. Not the good ones. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Sammy Watkins has had a very good year. He's the 3rd ranked wide receiver, and he only had 8.9 points this week. So that's how good his first 2 weeks are. If I had to guess, his team will bounce back a little bit. Especially Damian Williams. I mean, Diggs has been horrendous. I did not like Diggs this year, but I'm not going to lie, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. So we'll see if his team bounces back. But as of right now, there's a lot of parity. A lot of parity in our league right now. Actually, no, I'll do the week 4 matchups first. So you got me versus Fawad. I really got to get a win this week, and I'm playing the best team in the league right now. So we'll see how that goes. We have George and Kaleem. Kaleem kind of really needs a win too. I think more than me. He's 0-3. I would say at 0-4. That kind of makes it tough to come back from. Very good matchup this week between Raheel and Hassan. So we'll see how that goes. 5th and 6th place. Very good matchup between the Billy and Ascent. That's 2-1 teams going at it. And then you got the most disappointing teams in the league so far, with Yates and our little Nat friend right there. So there you go. That's the week 4 matchups. Pretty good matchups this week. Pretty even, I would say. Or we got a lot of teams. Like, got a couple 2-1 teams going at it. We got two. We got 4 of the 5. I know 4 of the 6 2-1 teams playing against each other this week. So, but you'll see as I do the standings. It's very even so far. I mean, I really don't think it could have been more even than this, especially in wins and losses. No one has really stood out much more than the other. I mean, Fawad is the only one with has 400 points. But if you look at the points total through 3 weeks, it's very close. I mean, I'm a 1-2 team, and I'm only like 40 points away from the top scoring team in the league, and I'm only 30 away from the second. So it's really, I would say, it's really close still so far. I mean, no one should give up at all, especially only through 3 weeks. You got our top 6 playoff teams right here. I mean, after Gun, that's who's out. Basically, all the 2-1 teams, the 6 2-1 teams are in the playoffs. That's kind of how you look at it right now. Any teams, I'm going to take a look. Any teams that are like 1 win, I think, yeah. So I'm the highest 1-2 team in points. I even have more points than both Raheel and Hassan. So the new rule with just the top 6 playoff teams by wins is already hurting me. Either way it was fine with me anyway. And then you got Yates, bottom team Mo, man, only 2 points away. But Mo does have the most points against, so not great. So that's it. This video came out a little earlier in the week than than the Wednesdays I've been releasing. So that means you got to get your waivers and stuff in. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been really enjoying making these so far. Have a great rest of the week, guys, and good luck in week 4.